Yeah, since everybody's still talking about mayhem, let's get into mayhem. So I wonder, is it mayhem or mayhem? And if you believe some of the comments on social media, there's a lot of people that I heard was like mayhem, that they are disappointed, that it was like, oh, I expected this, but they didn't get this. And I think it's like, you know what? The one issue I will always say that I have with Lady Gaga, the problem I have with her is the fact that the people that are in charge of hyping her and making her like this big, larger than life pop star, which in so many ways she is, I feel like y'all the ones that be shortchanging or hyping her up to have this big expectation, and then your expectations are let down. I feel like when you listen to Mayhem, it is an album you got to sit with. Like you literally have to listen to it, sit with it, stop being like, you know how to y'all be getting on social media, because I was watching that press conference and I wanted to drive through the TV and smack some of y'all because y'all was doing a little too much. But for the most part, I'm just like, just take the music, settle in, take it in, feel the music, do all this other stuff. And I will say this, the first half of the album I liked. The second half I was getting bored. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, I don't want this. Like, I like the fact that you made it seem like you were going more Born This Way. You were going more the Fame Monster. I think more people wanted those. And no shade, I will say that I prefer, like out of the Fame and the Fame Monster, I resonated more with the Fame Monster than the Fame. The Fame was a little too popish for me. The Fame was a little too, I want to say a little too gay, because it wasn't. I mean, if you're a gay pop star fan, I mean, if you're a pop fan, you're probably gonna get a little gayism and stuff from it anyway. The dramatics, the over the topness, all other stuff. And there were some great songs that was on the Fame. But the Fame Monster for me, I just love that dark electronic element to it, because I listen to a lot of that music. Like that's a lot of music that you would listen to if you were in Berlin or something like that. So I was liking that kind of like that vibe that she was going for. And she went more for it, more experimental, I feel like, in Born This Way. So I think more people were feeling they wanted more Fame Monster, Born This Way, not necessarily the Fame, because to be honest, there's some songs on the Fame I like, but there's a lot of songs on the Fame I don't like, because I'm like, these feel like demos to me. These don't feel like real thought out, well-crafted pop songs. But I think because we got so caught up in the pomp and circumstance of the Fame that it exceeded some of the other songs that was on the record. So she was able to skate by with that. But then as the albums progressed, then we like what we like. But then, of course, there was art pop, which I know the hardcore fans like justice for art pop and whatever the case is. And to be honest, when art flopped, she decided, oh, the antics, all the other stuff, you know, the meat dress and the coming in, being carried in some giant alien egg at the Grammys, and what's she gonna do next? She's gonna shoot, embryos out of her vagina. Like, what is she gonna? What's the next big crazy thing that she's going to do? And it was like the pomp and circumstance, the dramatics, all the little stunts were overshadowing the music. So then she's like, oh, and then if you pay attention, she did say in some interviews, well, I've had to go and prove myself to be an artist because nobody was taking me seriously. Hence why she went more Joanne, and I wouldn't ask for, but I understand why she had to do what she had to do. And that album flopped also. Then she had to go do the jazz stuff, which I found quite fitting that two of the oldest queens in the room, when she did that press conference, the Mayhem fan press conference, the two oldest queens said that her jazz stuff was their favorite. And I was like, how fitting. I said, of course, queens of a certain age would say that's the best era of Gaga that they like. Me, I'm all about drama. I'm all about pomp and circumstance. I love theatrics. That's what I always like when it comes to when the type of artists I watch and I listen to. But for the most part, it was just like, I wanted more of that. Like when you dropped Abracadabra, like Disease, I always said this. A lot of people wasn't feeling Disease. I like Disease. And when I saw the placement that it was the opening track, I'm like, yeah, this definitely feels like a song that should open and set the mood for the record. Then Abracadabra came. And I was like, yes, Abracadabra is giving you signature Gaga, where it's just like, but it's like on a different level. And so I was living for it. But you want to know something? There came a certain point when I was listening to the album and I was just like, I immediately went to, I don't know if y'all ever heard of her, but she's this Swedish pop star, a little underground. She does electronic pop music. Her name is Cobra. Bitch, I have been living for her for a while now. I like her songs where she got, I Give Good Puss. Like, that is like one of my favorite songs. And then she has a song called 10 out of 10. Let me tell you, if you put 10 out of 10 on and your ass don't start pop dipping and spinning across the goddamn room like you about to audition to be a part of the House of Extravaganza, then you's a damn lie. Because her songs get bangy, it's edgy, it's electronic, it's unapologetic, it's sexual, and that's kind of like the energy that I was hoping that Gaga was gonna give me with this record. And then I was just like, okay, it's cute. It's your standard Gaga record. Garden of Eden, I did like that song. I love the chorus and the pre-chorus. I could be a ready for the weekend. Like I like that part. I was like, yes, bitch, you better hit them vocals. And so I was just liking the ultimate sultriness of it. Perfect Celebrity. I was just like, okay, it just feels like your standard cliche song about fame or whatever. So I wasn't into that song too much. Vanish Into You, I did like that one. Killer featuring Gustavo Stein. Now she did perform this song on SNL, and I actually liked um the performance that she did on SNL. I also feel like that is the closest as we get to, and she said that the album is going to be industrial inspired. The album is not fully industrial inspired. Like if y'all want to hear some KMFDM, listen to some Nine Inch Nails, listen to some Marilyn Manson even. Like, there's been parts where Marilyn Manson was like more goth, but there was a period where further on he did get a little more industrial in his music, which I was actually preferring when he got a little deeper into the industrial versus back in the day when it was just full on like metal, rock, pop, and that sort of thing. Then he went glam for one moment when he did Mechanical Animals, which was very Bowie based. Speaking of which, Killer does remind me a bit of David Bowie when I was listening to it. And it felt like it was David Bowie sung by Jake Shears. That is what it was giving me. Because even when she was, I was like, girl, why you give me Jake Shears with this performance right now? Except, you didn't have like some shirt, you weren't shirtless with like some real tight bell bottoms on or something. So I did like Killer, especially like towards the end when it has like that long breakdown. It's like that electronic breakdown. I'm like, yeah, you just keep it going with the drums and all this stuff. So I was preferring that whole element of the song when it kind of just goes on, because I always like when I listen to certain songs and it has that EDM vibe or even like an industrial vibe, that it's like that breakdown and the music just keep going, doesn't fade out. And then Zombie Boy was cute, but I'm thinking and when I first saw the title for Zombie Boy, I was like, Zombie Boy has to be based off of course, the model who was in her Born This Way video who died. So I knew that had to be sort of a thing. And Love Drug, the way that it was headlined, I was like, why does feel like this was trying to be like the sequel to Love Game? How Bad Do You Want Me was cute. And then it's like, it goes, I even like Don't Call Tonight. I like her vocals on that one. But like, as we get further down, Shadow of a Man, The Beast, Blade of Glass, I started getting bored. And then don't even get me started on Die With A Smile. I don't care what she says. I don't care what what type of lies she wants to feed y'all. I truly believe that Die With A Smile was never meant to be for this album because it does not fit. Sonically, it doesn't fit. Just everything about the song does not fit. Feels like it was meant to be a part of this record. I feel like it was tacked on because Disease wasn't really doing that well. Abracadabra, yeah, is doing well on social media. There's been a lot of people who've been going around making TikTok videos and that sort of thing around it. But for the most part, beyond that, we've seen how it's been charting. And I don't think it's been charting all that great. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad song, because it's not. Abracadabra, the chorus is catchy as hell. She sounds, excellent on, vocally, but of course, Gaga can sing her ass off. So that's not, that's not, we don't have to question her on that. We also can't question her on her work ethic and the fact that she is a star. Whenever she gets on stage, she shines. The performances are exquisite. Seeing her perform Abracadabra for the first time, I loved it. I thought, I kind of wanted more, but I realized because that set is so damn small and it was so restricting that she couldn't really move around as much. But she did what she could with what she had, and she gave, full on 110% with the amount of space that she had. So I thoroughly enjoyed her performances on SNL. I was definitely, this is the first time we actually got to see her perform songs from Mayhem live. We only saw her do Die With A Smile, and we only seen her do at the Grammys, she did a cover of someone else's song, California Dreaming. So I was just like, okay. I think most of the fans wanted to see her perform She could have dropped the Abracadabra music video at 12 p.m. or early in the morning that day at the Grammys, and she could have performed it live for the first time on our TV screens at the Grammys instead of giving us a damn California Dreaming because it was some California wildfire. And this is no shade to the people that lost their homes and businesses and stuff out there, but it was like, ma'am, we ain't asked for this. Just like Quiet as It's Kept, we ain't asked for Die With a Smile from someone who's singing with someone who's basically a colonizer. And by colonizer, I'm talking about Bruno Mars colonizing Little Richard's entire aesthetic and trying to pass it off as his own. And Chuck Berry's, and try to make like it's original. There's nothing original comes from that 4'2" beer loving queen. But I say all this to say, and yes, I had to hit Bruno with that damn stray. So overall, it's not a bad album. I think it is a vast improvement from what we've previously gotten in the past. I do feel like it's because it's rare that we don't really get fully fleshed out albums from people anymore, that it's a good record. I think people should give it a chance. If you haven't, take time, really sit with it, and make up your opinion. I feel like when you listen to Mayhem, it's an album that you have to listen to more than once, unless you're somebody that's like, oh yeah, off the bat, I'm gonna like it. Or, you get these people out here that are just stands and will just like anything somebody puts out. And that's fine. But for someone like me, it was just like, yeah, I was expecting more industrial. I was expecting her to be a little more edgy with her sound. And there's plenty of girls out here who would, no shade, that is kind of in this electronic music element that are doing the music better than Gaga. Gaga has all the money, all the support of Interscope and everything, but if you're trying to eat, like I said, like a Cobra, like even Rebecca Black, who, sidebar, I cannot believe she's actually gonna be the opening act for Katy Perry. Like, I like Rebecca Black, but girl, why her? Why Katy Perry of all people? But I understand you need the bigger audience. You are independent, so that is a good look for you. But not with Katy Perry though. Well, out here hoping and praying she gonna sell them damn tickets, but once them shits drop to $25, then she'll be able to sell her tour. But people like Cobra, people who else? When we got even Charlie XCX, we have so many girls out here right now that are really doing the damn thing. That are doing the genre better, the music genre, better than Lady Gaga. So, girls like who? Girls like Shy Girl. I'm living for Shy Girl's new EP. Girls like Slater. I'm looking forward to the follow-up to her album. Like I said, Charlie XCX. I like Kim Petras, but I don't know, something's going on with her career. I think it's probably the label that she's a part of. We got people like Chase Icon. We got people like Bentley Robles, who's an openly queer artist who's like in the vein of like a Troye Sivan, but a little more edgier. Then you got like Brooke Candy, and then you have like just that whole vibe. Like even the Dearly Departed Sophie, like kind of in that vibe. So that's all I gotta say on that. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. What did y'all think of Mayhem? Is it more mayhem, or is it more mayhem, or it's just it's all right? I liked it, or whatever, just whatever your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments down below.